Hi, my name is Dr. Jody Jones. I am a clinical psychologist who has worked in the transplant field for 15 years. The experience of having a chronic illness, whether it is happening to you or a loved one, redefines your reality and creates what will become a new normal for you. In spite of the isolation you might feel as you enter this new phase of life, you should know you are not alone. For patients and caregivers dealing with a rare disease diagnosis, it can be even more difficult to find information and support specific to your needs and concerns. However, many changes, problems, and challenges you encounter have been shared by others. You might not believe this yet, but what you are going through is normal, and you really are okay. Developing a chronic or rare disease changes life not just for the patient, but for anyone who loves that person or will be involved in his or her care. It is common for all to experience a why me phase, during which you might feel sad, frustrated, and incredibly angry. You don't know who or what to be angry at, which is even more frustrating. This does not make you selfish or childish. Sometimes life is just not fair. Sometimes people feel they are being punished for something they did or did not do in the past. That is not true. Sadly, bad things sometimes happen to good people. It is normal to become depressed for a while and to not even know sometimes why you are sad or crying. You might find yourself tearing up at inconvenient times or embarrassing places, such as at a work meeting or in line at the grocery store. You are grieving, and this is part of the process. You have lost something precious, whether it is a healthy body, a way of life you loved, or hopes for the future. This is a death of sorts, and you need time to feel your sorrow. Allow yourself to cry. There are chemicals released in our tears that help the body and mind heal. Do not feel ashamed of your sadness. You might want to appear strong for others, and undoubtedly you do. So if you need to keep your tears private, do so. However, it takes strength to allow yourself to be vulnerable in front of others, and sometimes doing that will bring sources of comfort you did not know you had available to you. When someone develops an illness, family dynamics can change very quickly. Sometimes children will step up and adopt responsibilities they had formerly avoided in an effort to be helpful. In other cases, children might feel pushed aside or neglected if another child or parent in the family is getting the majority of attention. In those cases, children often will act out and might say horrible things, even something like, "I wish you were dead." What that child is really saying is that he or she wants things to go back to normal, and probably that child feels terrible about what was said. Once things have calmed down, it is important to talk about what happened without placing blame on anyone. Sometimes an objective outsider, like a counselor or therapist, can be helpful. Spouses will sometimes experience friction in their relationship when either one of them or a child is sick. Because all the focus turns to getting to appointments, managing everyday tasks necessary to keep the whole family going, or trying to work to maintain an income and insurance coverage, little time is left for relaxation or intimate time with each other. You might find yourself arguing and pushing each other away when you actually both need support. This is very common because we tend to dump our frustrations and hurts on the people we trust and who we know can take it. But because you are both hurting in your own way, you do not want this to go on for long. Again, counseling can be very helpful in these situations. It is not a sign of weakness to ask for outside help. While it is ideal for both partners to attend counseling together, because everyone copes with problems in his or her own way, one partner might need to go to counseling alone, at least in the beginning. This will hopefully benefit the person who is in counseling, and if communication and trust can grow between both partners at home, it could encourage the more reluctant partner to join the sessions. At a time when trying to protect your health or the health of a loved one is the most important thing in your world, the reality of paying the bills might be your biggest stressor. It feels wrong to be thinking of money and insurance at a time like this, but by necessity this might become your primary focus. Statistics suggest that at least 46 million people in the U.S. are employed at the same time that they are providing caregiving to someone else. It is so hard when you would rather be at home or at the hospital with your loved one, but you might find yourself having to divert your attention to your job more often than you would like. Many people must adjust their work schedules, either by going in late or leaving early or taking a leave of absence. If you have a good leave policy at work, this might allow you the time you need to take care of yourself or your loved one. Unfortunately, this means that other people at your workplace might be picking up your slack. While in the beginning, most people feel relieved to do something to help you, in time that can feel like a burden. If you are sensing some resentment from coworkers during the times you are there, you might want to make a point of thanking those who have helped out during your absence and let them know that by supporting you in this way, they help you deal with your own illness or that of your child or spouse. Another source of worry can be a lack of information about the diagnosis, which is particularly true with rare diseases. Alternatively, you might feel like you have too much information all at once. Suddenly, words with which you are not familiar are being used regularly by the medical team, and tests you've never heard of are being ordered. Keeping up with appointments can be overwhelming. Consider keeping a file or notebook of all the materials you are given, and don't hesitate to take notes during meetings with the treatment team. Ask how to spell unfamiliar words and write down what they mean. Once in a while, you might encounter someone on the team who seems impatient when asked questions, but hopefully most healthcare providers will be happy to take the few moments necessary to explain what you do not understand. As many people have experienced, once a diagnosis is found, often a lot of support is offered from family and friends. You might have neighbors helping drive your children, or a sister coming to clean the house for you. However, over time, as people turn back to their own obligations, the help might taper off, although you still need it. This can lead to a sense of being abandoned by people you thought cared, or by being overwhelmed with everything that still needs to be done. In situations like this, you might want to talk to a trusted family member or friend who can organize help from the people who care about you. You or that person can let your circle of support know whether you want information to be distributed publicly, such as on Facebook or CaringBridge, or whether you would prefer to keep things private. Do not be afraid to tell people exactly what you want or need. There are apps for your phone to help you organize tasks and websites for arranging the delivery of meals by your friends and family. A carpool can be set up with rotating drivers so no one person feels the burden, and maybe a collection can be taken up so you can have a cleaning service come in every couple of weeks. Even when people do not have the time to help you themselves, they are often happy to contribute if someone can organize efforts. Please try to remember that although this change in your life might be unwelcome and difficult, you will likely find unexpected gifts along the way. You will hopefully meet wonderful people who can help you transform your life, and you will grow in ways you never imagined. You are stronger than you think and more resourceful than you know. Ask for help when you need it. Trust your instincts. Express yourself. And believe you can do this. Here are a few more suggestions you may find helpful. If you need help from a counselor or therapist, first call your insurance company for a list of preferred providers in your area if you have private insurance. You can also call your local mental health center for an appointment, where they often will provide services on a sliding scale, meaning you pay according to what you can afford. Create or join a support circle of friends and family. Walking this journey alone is not a sign of bravery. This support could be someone you can talk to on the phone or meet with. There may also be valuable support found on the internet and other social formats. Whether you are the patient or a caregiver, consider sharing pertinent information with those heavily or frequently involved in the patient's life. For example, if it is a child with the illness, should coaches, teachers, counselors, or friends be informed? Adults may choose to share information with a pastor, family, best friends, or co-workers. Helping these people understand changes they may have already noticed could help them advocate for you while expanding the support circle. If you are a friend or family member, always ask the person with the diagnosis what information you can share with others. Every patient has the right to privacy and may not appreciate personal details showing up on Facebook or Twitter. Make time to research and become informed about the diagnosis. Consider developing and sharing an illness information sheet that shares the details you want others to know. Try not to take uneducated questions and comments personally. Look at this as your opportunity to be a source of information. Keeping a journal is a great coping mechanism for adults and children dealing with illness. It allows you to record your personal thoughts and feelings in a private way, or to share with others if you want to. Tell people exactly what you need for help. Identify friends or family who want to be closely involved and let them organize efforts. Tasks you might need assistance with include bringing meals in, transportation, help with shopping, or company for appointments. Be specific. Ask, "Can you water my plants? Can you walk the dog? Or can you help organize a fundraiser?" The workplace environment and schedule can present special challenges when dealing with chronic or rare illnesses. Caregivers and patients should learn about the American Disabilities Act. Talk with the Human Resources staff if special accommodations are or will be needed for continued success in your workplace. A pediatric patient with a rare disease or chronic illness diagnosis can benefit from child life specialists. Ask about specialized in-home resources available. Discover their personal interests, such as art, music, or dancing, and encourage them to do these things for stress relief and comfort. It isn't only the patient's life that has been turned upside down when dealing with a chronic or rare illness. If there are children living in the home, they may need some special care and understanding. Ask them about their feelings and needs. Encourage them to express their interests as well. And offer to stay with them or entertain them while the loved one is in the hospital or visiting the doctor may ease their worries or feeling of being left out. Both patient and caregiver should make time for themselves to regroup and protect their mental, emotional, and physical well-being on a daily basis if possible. This may mean many different things to different people, but consider taking a few minutes to read from a favorite book, listen to music, go for a walk, or simply sit in a quiet place and meditate or pray. And finally, being organized when faced with a long-term illness may reduce your stress. Simple, inexpensive accordion folders such as these can be an amazing toolkit for the caregiver or the patient. 2 folders that can be securely closed are recommended. 1 file folder remains at home for papers of importance that need to be readily accessible. The second one can go with you to the doctor appointments, hospital trips, and other meetings where you may need documentation and notes about you, your care, and contact information. If you know a patient and family coping with chronic illness, please remember to send emails or check in, especially if you know there has been a recent hospitalization or procedure. Even the smallest gestures to show you care can mean the world to someone dealing with unexpected or long-term illnesses. For chronic disease patients, especially those with rare diagnoses, the road is long and challenging. Although this was not something you invited into your life, you can prepare yourself for what lies ahead. Hopefully the ideas presented here will help with that. Thank you.
You open the door, and so I open mine. You built a world in your heart. You're standing tall, you're reaching high, and I can't turn around, I can't walk away. This is what life has brought, and it's here to stay. And I just want you to know that you're not alone. It's a mighty heavy load. Sometimes it's hard to stay afloat, but you can always count on me to help you through the stormy season. When you feel like breaking down and giving up, just look around and you will find many people who are just like me. They're just like you.